In this lecture, we're going to look at measure 5 of the Alman and look at another shift where we're shifting in between eighth notes. So let's go ahead and jump right into the music. As we're shifting in the middle of a passage of eighth notes, something that's good to keep in mind is as much as possible is to keep a position. In other words, keeping a 4-fret kind of relaxed feel. So I have this position, and it's kind of like my wrist kind of slides everything or flips everything. I kind of like those kind of words where it's just kind of like a quick, relaxed, kind of tossed off motion. So you're not, and that's a lot different than saying I've got this perfect textbook left hand position and I'm going to like really tightly move that to the next position. I mean, I really appreciate there's people who are trying to keep their technique really good, and I really appreciate that. That's really, their head's in the right place. So you're generally keeping an open position. It doesn't have to be textbook perfect. You just want to make sure that you're not smushing up. A lot of times when people start moving, they kind of tense up because they're trying to get to the next thing. They're kind of aiming, trying to be correct, which of course is a good thing. But what happens is they tighten up, and then it kind of breaks the rhythm. The key here is that someone who doesn't know anything about guitar, someone who's not watching your left hand, doesn't know that you shifted. They just assume that you all stayed in the same position. It sounds the same. So there's no like crazy trick. It's kind of just making sure that you go from this note. When I do this, my third finger goes down. What happens is my first finger just goes along for the ride, and hey, it's right there. It's set up on the first fret, just ready to play. So make sure you're keeping that in mind in all the shifts that show up in this piece. So make sure that when you're playing a passage like this, someone who isn't looking at your hands or someone who doesn't know anything about guitar playing, they can't tell that you shifted. They can't hear where your left hand moved, so we keep those eighth notes perfectly intact. So kind of let your ear be your guide as you're practicing this section. Make sure that you're really good at getting that shift really nice and sneaky. You're holding on to the note for as long as possible before you shift into the next position. So once you've got this down, feel free to go on once again to the next lecture.